welcome to my channel. Today I am going to talk about N,N-dimethyl formamide, which is another non-aqueous solvent. N,N-dimethyl formamide. DMF, it will be abbreviated as DMF. It was first synthesized by French chemist Albert Vernet. Professor Albert Vernet by distilling a mixture of dimethyl amine hydrochloride and formate ion. So it will be considered as a kind of accidental discovery when the professor tried to distill this compound. I mean, the mixture was tried to distill. At the time they obtained a compound N,N-dimethyl formamide. Its physical properties, it is highly miscible in water. Its boiling point is around 152 degrees Celsius, 152 to 154 degrees Celsius, and then its dielectric constant value. The dielectric constant value will tell about the type of solvent. Dielectric constant of N,N-dimethyl formamide is 36.71 at 25 degrees Celsius. This value, this 36.71, suggests that the solvent should be highly polar solvent. It's a kind of polar solvent, as well as it does not have any acidic hydrogen atom, so it will be called as polar aprotic solvent. Polar aprotic solvent. And then the next thing is, in case if needs to purify this solvent, it has to be carried out only at low temperature and reduced pressure, because DMF molecule is highly sensitive towards high temperature. At high temperature, DMF molecule can be decomposed into dimethyl amine at high temperature. Therefore, the distillation should be carried out only under reduced pressure at low temperature. It's a kind of decarbonylation reaction to form dimethyl amine as a product. This DMF molecule has the ability to dissolve most of the ionic as well as organic compounds. So it is then another interesting part. Like there are most of the time people will use this solvent for the purpose of solubility. The very important thing we have to note about DMF is DMF exists in the form of, when we are going to write the DMF structure, you can see that one. This carbonyl group, when it will be in the form of a resonance, I mean this lone pair of electron can undergo to form a double bond. So of this reason, you can see here there is a formation of double bond between the C and the nitrogen and the generation of O minus charge. So this can be stabilized the cations. At the same time, because of lack of acidic proton, it can't stabilize any anion. So whatever the anion is generated in this medium, that anion is highly reactive. That's why what happened, most of the SN2 reactions can be carried out in DMF as a solvent. For example, you can take the solvent, maybe the reaction, you can take an alcohol with sodium hydride is a base. In presence of DMF can stabilize the sodium ion but not hydride. So what happened? There will be generation of reactive anion. This reactive anion can attack methyl iodide from the back side, or you can take any kind of iodides, whether of iodides or maybe whether of alkyl iodides or any kind of iodides, to make an ether derivative. SN2 type reaction. From this, it is very clear that DMF can stabilize cation, especially here sodium ion. So, but because of the lack of acidic proton in this solvent, it can't stabilize anion. So the anion is highly reactive, that can undergo the reaction. The rate of the reaction is very faster, so that can be utilized for the purpose of SN2 type reactions. Okay. Now when we come to the DMF, which is undergo a kind of the resonance form. When we come to the resonance electron, if we compare the energy between these two, the difference in energy between these two is only 55 kilojoule per mole. This energy is not so very high. So what happened? Because of the reason the resonance exists, this can also be observed in NMR. When you are taking NMR for NM dimethyl formamide, that will show, that will give two set of methyl groups. Actually, when we see the dimethyl formamide, it has only one kind of, if the structure exists in the form of A, then it has only one kind of methyl group. But when it has gone to the resonance structure of the another form, I mean the structure B, it has two kind of methyl groups. And the process is not so fast. It happened less than 1000 per second. So what happened? This form can also be detected in NMR. That's why it has shown two type of methyl group in NMR. At the same time, DMF can undergo rotation also. Because of there is a presence of CN single bond that can be undergo, this bond can be rotated with the energy of 85 kilojoule per mole. The energy needed to rotate the CN bond is around 85 kilojoule per mole. So these are some of the interesting part about the solvent NN dimethyl formamide. And the next thing is about the NN dimethyl formamide can provide a reaction medium, solvent medium. First one is Bovaert aldehyde synthesis. Bovaert aldehyde synthesis. The reaction is between Grignard and DMF to get the product as aldehyde. For example, you can take RX. If you react with magnesium in ether, you can get RMgX, Grignard reagent, that can be reacted with N-dimethyl formamide. So we know that R minus is a kind of nucleophile that can go and attack the carbon center to form a 4-coordinator, I mean the tetrahedral state intermediate. Okay. This is a kind of stable tetrahedral stable intermediate. Tetrahedral stable which is highly sensitive towards water. If you react this one with water, then what will happen? It can give, after hydrolysis, it can produce a aldehyde. I mean, what will happen? This water can go and attack the center of here, then there will be a creation of so what will happen? There is a hydrolyzed product. I mean, this proton can attack the oxygen center, then magnesium XOH will be precipitated. Finally, you will get a R C double bond O hydrogen. Aldehyde will be generated with the cleavage of CN bond. Okay. Then the next one is Wills-Payer-Hack reaction. Wills-Payer reaction. In this case, reaction is between, you can take any kind of arenes, maybe benzene. If you react this one with POCl3 and DMF, you can obtain benzalate as a product. Benzalate as a product. So aldehyde, the CHO group can be easily inserted in any kind of arenes. That is the advantage of this reaction. Now let me see how does DMF plays as a reagent in this reaction, that we can see in this reaction. Now let me take a solvent DMF. Interact with POCl3. There will be a creation of PO bond and the anion is coming out. To form PO bond was formed, PO bond was formed and the anion is come out as chloride ions. Okay. Then the chloride ion now attacking the carbon center, which is a kind of electrophile. And then this anion will go out as negative charge, O minus, to form Wills-Meyer reagent. Wills-Meyer reagent as counter cation and the anion will be PO minus Cl. Now this Wills-Meyer reagent, whatever the cation was generated, that can undergo reaction with arene. By the transfer of pi electrons. To form sp3 generated a sp3 carbon center. And then Cl. Okay. Then now there will be a loss of proton to form the aromatic benzene ring. Minus proton can be possibility to form here. Dimethyl amine, proton and chlorine. Then next step will be loss of chloride ion. Loss of chloride ion. Okay. Then further reaction with water, it's a kind of hydrolysis reaction. Water molecule reacting with amine. There is a formation of CO bond is generated. At the same time the proton was migrated from water to amine group. To form NH bond. Me2 H OH. Okay. Then the next step will be The next step will be cleave of CN bond. Followed by loss of proton to obtain aldehyde. So, this is the reaction mechanism for the conversion of arene to benzaldehyde in Wills-Weyerhack reaction. Now, let me come to the inorganic complexes. When you come to the inorganic synthesis, you just feel the solvent N dimethyl formamide very carefully. You can see here, it will be in resonance structure. I already said this one. Okay. When we taken this DMF as a solvent, it has, when it is in the form of A, it has basic nitrogen center. So this nitrogen center can stabilize soft metal ions, not very soft. It's a kind of a metal ion such as silver, maybe copper. Such kind of metal ions can be stabilized. I mean, little bit harder acids can be stabilized by nitrogen containing DMF solvent. At the same time, when you are seeing the structure of B, this oxygen center can stabilize the metal ions such as sodium ion, calcium ion, I mean alkaline and alkaline earth metal ions. So, that is the speciality with this solvent. It can stabilize both hard cations as well as little bit weaker hard cations such as silver and cupric ion can also be stabilized by nitrogen containing centers. So it can act as a kind of bidentate ligands. It is very difficult to identify when you react this metal ions with DMF. In case you just react with any kind of metal ions such as M plus or M2 plus, we have to, how can we come to know whether nitrogen is coordinated with the metal center or oxygen was coordinated with the metal ions. That can be easily identified by IR spectroscopy. So now I am going to discuss how does IR spectroscopy is a useful technique for the determination of the coordination site, whether nitrogen coordinated or oxygen coordinated to metal site, that can be easily identified by IR spectroscopic technique. So the molecule dimethyl formamide, if it is the form of a resonance structure, it is making sure that it is making clear that the CO bond is not true double bond. So the CO bond is a kind of the bond order is not exactly 2. So let us assume it is a kind of maybe it is an average between these two. So the bond order may be around 1.5. Let us assume. In case at the same time when we come to the CN bond here it is looking like bond order 1, but when if the resonance structure B exists means then the bond order looks like 2. So again the CN bond order B can be seen by raising the structure. So the average, if you make average, the bond order is again here also 1.5. Now let me come to the complex. For example, in case if the oxygen center was coordinated with metal center. For example, you have M, that M was metal ion was coordinated with the oxygen center. I didn't I did not draw complete structure, but we can understand what is going on here. So the oxygen was bonded to the metal ion. So the electron density is flowing from oxygen center to metal ion. So the nitrogen unpaired electron should move between Cn. So what will happen? There is a creation of double bond. C double bond N. At the same time, CO, that bond order is decreased. So what happened in case when you compare with the DMF, what will happen? The CO bond order is decreased. The CO bond order decreased. At the same time, because the bond order is now 1. It's not exactly 1, of course it will be in the form of a resonance structure, but compared with the DMF, here the bond order is around 1.5, so it should be less than 1.5. At the same time, Cn bond order. When we come to Cn bond order, again, in this case also, the bond order is here 2. So compared with 1.5, it's not exactly 2, but maybe around, but compared with the DMF, the bond order should be increased. It may be 1.7 or 1.8. So the Cn bond order is increased. So what will happen if we analyze the IR spectroscopy very carefully for these metal coordinated complexes? If in case the CO stretching frequency decreased, at the same time Cn stretching frequency increased, on that basis we can easily confirm that oxygen was coordinated with the metal center in compared with the solvent DMF. In case, let us assume if the metal ion was coordinated with nitrogen, what will happen the bond? Let's see now. You can see here, again, in this case the electron densities flow from oxygen to nitrogen. Then only what happens? Nitrogen can provide an electron density to metal center. So the CO bond order is increased. At the same time, Cn bond order is decreased. So what will happen? In case if the metal ion was coordinated with the nitrogen center, then the CO bond order increased in comparison with the DMF. At the same time, Cn bond order, what happened? Decreased in comparison with the DMF. So again what happened? From the IR spectroscopic technique, the metal coordinated complex, the nitrogen coordinated with the metal complexes, that one if you have taken IR spectroscopy, if the CO bond order stretching frequency is increased in compared with the DMF, at the same time Cn bond order, the Cn stretching frequency decreased in compared with the DMF, then you can conclude that the DMF having the nitrogen center was bonded with the metal center. So just by simple IR spectroscopy, that can be easily differentiated whether nitrogen or oxygen, which heteroatom was coordinated to the metal center. Now I will conclude this session. In this lecture, we have discussed about the solvent behavior of DMF in detail. Especially DMF we have identified as a kind of polar aprotic solvent. It has the ability to stabilize cations. At the same time, because of lack of acidic protons, it can't stabilize anions. So the anions whatever generated in DMF medium, it is highly reactive that can be utilized for most of the SN2 type reactions. And also we have discussed here Bovaert aldehyde synthesis, especially reaction of the Grignard reagent with DMF to form a aldehyde, that was discussed in this lecture, as well as Wills-Baer-Hacker reaction. There is a formation of Wills-Baer reagent, that Wills-Baer reagent interacting with arenes to form an arene aldehyde, that may be either benzaldehyde or ferrosinaldehyde. Any of the aldehyde or CHO group can be easily inserted in any of the arenes by using POCl3 DMF medium. And also we have discussed about the nature of coordination, because DMF has two kind of heteroatoms, nitrogen as well as oxygen, which heteroatom was coordinated with the metal center, that can be different, that can be identified by IR spectroscopic technique in the form of the CO and CN stretching frequencies. Finally, thank you very much for participated in this lecture.